hỡi các đại nghĩa sĩ tân dân chủ, hỡi các anh chị em máu thịt Việt Nam, chúng ta do dân tộc mà hình thành, vì dân chúng mà đấu tranh. Đứng dậy này, truyền cho đến mãi mãi muôn muôn về sau, là màu mỡ cho đất đai, là kết tụ của tiếng Việt, là tự hào, là di sản cho con cháu. Tinh và hồn luôn luôn cùng sông núi, sống thì phải cho lẫm liệt, mà thác cũng phải đáng tự hào, bất khuất và hùng anh.
Trân trọng kính mời Đức Quốc công Đào Minh Quân, Tổng thống Việt Nam Cộng hòa đệ tam, cùng tất cả quý đồng nhiệm trong chính phủ quốc gia Việt Nam lâm thời đệ tam Việt Nam Cộng hòa, làm lễ chào quốc kỳ quốc ca Việt Nam Cộng hòa. Bắt đầu.
Cả chú ơi, chào tay, chào.
Này công dân ơi, đứng lên đáp lời sông núi, đồng lòng cùng đi hy sinh tiếc gì hơn sao, vì tương lai quốc dân cùng sống và khói tên, làm sao cho núi sông từ nay luôn vững bền, cho thấy phơi trên gương dao.
Chúng tôi trân trọng kính chào Đức Quốc công Đào Minh Quân, Tổng thống Việt Nam Cộng hòa đệ tam, và kính chào quý khán giả. Trân trọng kính mời Đức Quốc công và quý vị cùng chúng tôi nghiêm trang dâng lời cầu nguyện. Chúng con là các thành viên đồng nhiệm của Chính phủ Quốc gia Việt Nam lâm thời đệ tam Việt Nam Cộng hòa. Nguyện xin đấng tối cao, Thượng Đế, Trời Phật và hồn thiên sông núi, các bậc tiền nhân anh hùng dựng nước và giữ nước, xin phù hộ độ trì ban phước lành cho chúng con, xin che chở cho đất nước và đồng bào thân yêu của chúng con được thoát khỏi cộng sản và nạn chiến tranh tàn phá. Xin bảo vệ Đức Quốc công Tổng thống Đào Minh Quân và tất cả những nhà ái quốc chân chính. Xin cho chúng con thêm khôn ngoan, đoàn kết, nhẫn nại, can đảm, sáng suốt để cùng với Chính phủ Quốc gia Việt Nam lâm thời đệ tam Việt Nam Cộng hòa dẫn đưa dân tộc Việt Nam vượt qua cơn hiểm nghèo đến bến bờ hạnh phúc, vinh quang, trường cửu, mọi nhà được an hưởng thái bình, thịnh trị của thời Thượng Ngôn Thánh Đức. Xin gìn giữ và tôi luyện cho chúng con tinh thần Việt Nam chân chính. Sống thì phải cho lẫm liệt, mà thác cũng phải đáng tự hào, bất khuất và hùng anh, đúng theo gương sáng của vị lãnh đạo tinh thần của chúng con đã tuyên xưng.
anh hùng cứu nguy dân Việt, quên thân mình ngày ngày chung lo việc nước. Một lời thề vì dân chiến đấu, không ngại ngùng vì nước hy sinh cho muôn đời tổ quốc quang vinh. Việt Nam đào Minh quân, dân đang chờ ngày vui no ấm, xóa tan bao lỗi lầm than. Việt Nam đào Minh quân, xây cơ đồ hồn thiên sông núi, ánh dương lên soi sáng khắp địa cầu. Đào Minh quân, anh hùng cứu nguy dân Việt, quên thân mình ngày ngày chung lo việc.
On May 9, 2021, the group of editors of the Los Angeles magazine had a sharp view on the activities and personality of the Imperial Duke, President Đào Minh Quân. The article titled, "The Los Angeles Tribune, President Đào Minh Quân of the Republic of Vietnam Regain Ancestral Land, End Populist Suffering," by the Tribune editorial team on May 9, 2021. In today's era, thinking about others' good on a communal or national level is seldom witnessed. The lack of time, patience, resource and efforts hinder one from working for a greater cause. Almost every person is driven by compassion to make their country the best, but the lack of these factors keeps them from doing so. Only true patriots keep their interests aside to think and work for the betterment of their country, and one of them, the Imperial Duke Đào Minh Quân. The Imperial Duke Đào Minh Quân, the President of the Third Republic of Vietnam, is a powerful and courageous personality who actively works to free Vietnam from communism. As a man of the present, the Imperial Duke Đào Minh Quân is quite aware of the consequences of a communist country and its civilians in the modern world. He has spent an adequate amount of his life living in Vietnam under the communist government and is now living into the United States of America. The sense of autonomy in all aspects of life that the Imperial Duke Đào Minh Quân experienced while living in America exposed him to the real essence of life. He then realized that everyone deserved to feel this way, including the people of his country. It was then that the Imperial Duke Đào Minh Quân decided that he must strive to provide the people of Vietnam prosperity, peace, freedom and justice they deserved. The unsung Vietnamese hero. Before moving to the States, he served in the Vietnamese military. On April 30, 1975, southern Vietnam was forcefully occupied by the communists. This group of communists imprisoned the entire military force of Vietnam, including the Imperial Đào Minh Quân. He stayed in the communist prison camps for more than 3 years. In the winter of 1978, the ship VNKG 0602, carrying 524 people, was commanded to cross the sea to Pulau Tenggara, Malaysia. Soon after he escaped, he and his family moved to the United States. Moving to a new country and living in a place free from restrictions motivated him to do something for the people of his country. Less than a month after moving to California, he joined the National Vietnamese Force in Santana. He led the troop entertainment struggle group, which his compatriots lovingly called Black Shirt Entertainment Troupe. His associations with independent activists gave him a firm grip on his goal, and he continued to work for it. The Imperial Duke Đào Minh Quân is an individual with a high intellect. Despite having a full-time career in information technology and being the head of several IT companies, Đào did not lose focus on his primary goal. His multi-potential nature can be measured by the fact that he submitted a draft named National Citizens Resolution. He composed the draft in 1989 and submitted it to philosopher Lương Kim Dinh, chairman of National Seniors Council. Impressed by Imperial Duke Dao's work, the professor signed a letter of authorization for him to be in charge of chairman of the Standing Committee of the National Council. Achieving small milestones like these kept the Imperial Duke Dao Minh Nguyen dedicated to his cause and made him work harder. Another one of his achievements is his efforts to release the imprisoned soldiers and stuck Vietnamese in other countries. In 1989 and 1990, Imperial Duke Dao Minh Nguyen and Mr. Nguyen Hậu, President of the General Association of Communist Political Prisoners, established political prisoners' files. These files helped ARVN soldiers imprisoned by the communists to reunite with their families in the United States through the HO program, Humanitarian Operation. The Imperial Duke Dao Minh Nguyen also advocated sponsorship programs to help Vietnamese refugees settle in the United States through the program called CPA, Comprehensive Plan of Action. At the same time, he contacted and mobilized in countries such as Kuwait, Vanuatu, Ukraine, Australia, and the European Union to help Vietnamese communist refugees in these countries. To be persistent and endure patience in fighting communism, he moved the permanent office of the PNGVN, led by his leadership, to the Adelanto Desert. He moved on the land of 40 acres bought out of his own money. He began self-building places to worship the 5 deity generals, holy shrines, and monuments. He constructed these places to tribute to heroes and martyrs, the unknown soldiers who died for their country. He also remembered the souls of the Vietnamese people who wanted to escape the communist red devils but were tragically killed on the way across the sea. Appreciation and support for his efforts. It is said that the path of good is challenging, but it is always fruitful in the end. Similar was the case with President Dao Minh Nguyen. Initially, he faced difficulty changing people's mindsets, but as time passed, things became easier. People began comprehending his opinions and realized his true cause, seeing the people of Vietnam happy. He was supported by the President of the United States Allied Commission, Mr. Barry Thaxton. He also received 2 diplomatic notes from the former President Bill Clinton, inviting cooperation in building democracy, peace and prosperity for the world, with the promise that time will fulfill. The Provisional Government of Ukraine also invited Grand Duke President Dao Minh Nguyen to give a speech at the Congress of the 11 countries of the former Soviet Union. At 10 years old, his daughter Tina Dao delivered a speech on behalf of the Imperial Duke on August 23, 1991. On July 5, 2005, US Federal Congressman Gary Miller invited Imperial Duke Dao Minh Nguyen to give a speech at the Republic Congress. He delivered the speech in front of the United States politicians, delegates, and members of Congress. Furthermore, he very daringly mentioned his continued struggle to dissolve the Vietnamese Communist Party. On October 15, 2010, Federal Representative Gary Miller and the US former President's brother, Edward Nixon, honorably invited the Imperial Duke Dao Minh Nguyen as Prime Minister of the Provisional National Government of Vietnam to claim sovereignty in the South China Sea at the Nixon Library. The cheering of the warm welcome of the entire audience, including high-ranking politicians, leaders, generals and tycoons of the United States and the world, motivated him to continue his cause. Unthreatened by allegations. Despite having a positive, clean and divine mission for Vietnam, Imperial Duke Dao Minh Nguyen has faced many media allegations. His political associations and organizations have been accused of causing disruption and disturbance in the country by the media. With every dawn came a new allegation and false news, but nothing deviated this determined individual from his cause. His focus and dedication to liberating Vietnam from the chains of communism and saving it from becoming a communist hub like one of its neighbouring countries had become more assertive.
anh hùng cứu nguy dân Việt, quên thân mình ngày ngày chung lo việc nước. Một lời thề vì dân chiến đấu, không ngại ngùng vì nước hy sinh cho muôn đời tổ quốc quang vinh. Việt Nam đào Minh quân, dân đang chờ ngày vui no ấm, xóa tan bao lỗi lầm than. Việt Nam đào Minh quân, xây cơ đồ hồn thiên sông